Welcome, dear students. My name is Apuii. I'm also known as Miss Apuii. I'm your history teacher. Two teachers are taking this subject, and the other one is Saramura. He has already uploaded his teaching, and today I'm going to uh, show videos of my portion. Uh, Take out your history textbook and then go to your content page, and then I will tell you what portion I'm going to take. Okay, content page, section 1, early societies, and section 4, towards modernization. Section 2 and 3 will be taken by Sar Zamora. Okay, turn to uh, page 8 of your textbook, and our first chapter is from the beginning of time. From the chapter itself, this portion is going to cover a very vast period of time, the beginning of time. And then this chapter is divided into two, and the one portion will be the beginning of human existence, and that is first portion will be dealing about the precursors of modern human beings, and the second portion will be modern human beings, evolution of modern human beings. And in this chapter, we are going to study what has taken place millions of years ago. We all know how much a million is. It's compared with money, we know that million years have lots of money because we know the amount of what a million is. So in this chapter also, we are going to study what has taken place millions of years ago. In page 8, you will find the introduction of the chapter, and in this chapter, we are going to trace the beginning of human existence. We are all human beings, so we are going to study the existence of human beings. And before we move on with the chapter, what I want to tell you is that, especially for us Christians, this chapter is going to be based on the evolution theory. And this theory is based on Charles Darwin theory of evolution. And this chapter is completely against the creation theory of the Bible. We find that in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, we have already known for us Christians that human beings do not evolve, but we are created by God. But this chapter will be completely against the creation theory of the Bible. And before we move on with the chapter, uh, look at your textbook here, and then in the textbook, at the side of each page, you will find some explanation given here, which will be referred to in the chapter while class is going on. And this side information given here in the textbook, you will have to go through it by yourself, and later you are going to make notes, and those questions will be given after the chapter. In the for, for the introduction, uh, it was 5.6 million years ago that the first human-like creatures appeared on the Earth's surface. 5.6 million years ago, first human-like creatures appeared on the Earth's surface. After that, several forms of human emerged, and then they became extinct. And then those were the precursors of us modern human beings. Human beings resembling us. We are known as modern human beings. Human beings resembling us originated about 160,000 years ago. Human beings resembling us, which we are going to discuss later in the chapter, they started originating on this earth 160,000 years ago. And then those first early human beings in the beginning, they obtained food either by scavenging or hunting animals and gathering plant produce. Then they also learn how to make stone tools and then communicate with each other. So in the beginning, speech, language is not developed. Slowly and slowly, these have developed, which we are going to cover later in the Tuna ka kan chapter hi beginning of time hun ron in chan na abik takin he chapter in na asoi to machu mishing te khove la kan lo om chan dan ti ni ta chu a period te arelu to ka millions of years kan ti a million sa chu kan sham zo tong phe chan million han soi mi thi ko ni lo ta I khatiang hun la ya khan khove la mishing ma saber te an lo omani ti chung chang le an ron mishing ko an la ni lo ta the first human beings we are going to deal later in the chapter the first human beings were not like us modern human beings they were apes zong kan ti ang kha an ni ta ni chuan a tir pera chuan tin na china ka sei to ang khan he chapter a hian evolution theory kan zir don awangin evolved chu eng motor hetia ron zi chuak ti na ni ta chuan ke ni abikin christian te tan chuan he chapter hi chu thil nilo top kan believe kan lo shiat ve dan ang lo top kha ni don ta a maro chu kha khawai tu rom chang lo helai chu mithiam ten tun ma hona christian ni velem lo te I khang te na mishing lo zik chwa dan tu om khavel thiam na le mishing thiam na research sang sang an le na atang le archaeological findings atanga mishing hi chu tiang atang lo piang chu an niang a ti rin na atanga he zir la hi lo chhuak ani tin he mi bola su su tu ber le he theory mi khavel sha ta puang chhuaka khovel la nge nyang tu lai thlang zir lai boa kan nei theina mi na zir theina chan pakhat lo bai pu tu Charles Darwin kan ti hi ni ta ti chuan Charles Darwin a hian mi tak tak ama chung ni lo hian a hun lai khan bi chu sang sangin research sang an local puya skeletal remains eng bones and discover atang te khan khatiang khan findings research an lo ne ya chung zong khai khom na ta to Charles Darwin a hian le khabo aron siam chhuak ta chu he evolution theory tu na kan zir tur ron in base choda na chu anita ni in the chapter, in the introduction page, from the third paragraph, you will find the words fossils. And then explanation of the word fossils has been given at the side of the textbook. You have to go through that by yourself. So in the beginning, those researchers have discovered human fossils, stone tools, paintings, and then from there they try to understand the early human history. And in the beginning also, there were many researchers who still believe in the creation theory of the Bible and they were skeptical about these findings and they find it very hard to accept these theories. Hetia class atuna kan hetia online teaching anga hi chuan detail devin kan soi thei do nova chapter complete kan du si awangin in kan sha pandemic awangin class kan kal thei lova classroom detail teaching hi chu kan nei thei do nova ni chu wang chuan tu na po hen atlang pui por karon soi do ani and you have to look carefully at your textbook because I will tell you some points to underline while this teaching is going on and then later based on those underlined words you will have to answer the questions which I will give you later on. First, the first question which we will get later is that why were scholars reluctant to accept the findings of the early discoveries? And then for that, you will underline uh, the fifth paragraph. When such discoveries were first made about 200 years ago, many scholars were often reluctant to accept that fossils and other human finds, including stone tools and paintings, were actually connected with early forms of humans. This reluctance generally stemmed from their belief in the Old Testament of the Bible, according to which human origin was regarded as an act of creation by God. You will underline that paragraph with pencil. and then later you are going to make notes based on that because questions will be given. And then uh, in the beginning, I have mentioned about Charles Darwin, and before that, many scholars or many workers, while working different parts of the world, they discovered some skeletal remains, some skulls, and then those skulls have been studied by researchers. And then when they made findings, they used to publish a paper on that. And all those put together, and Charles Darwin on page 9, on 24 November 1859, when Charles Darwin's On the Origin of the Species was published, marked a landmark in the study of evolution. And Charles Darwin had issued a book called uh, On the Origin of Species on 24th November 1859. And in the beginning, 1,250 copies was first printed and was sold the same day. And Charles Darwin had argued from the beginning that humans had evolved from animals a long time ago. Humans have evolved from animals a long time ago. If you are not sure about the word evolution, you consult a dictionary and try to understand the meaning. Okay, that is the introductory part. Fossil species, which is given at the side of the chapter, go through it by yourself, and later, based on that, you will have to answer some questions. Okay, we will move on with the chapter. The first for the first point regarding the story of human evolution, and we have just mentioned that Charles Darwin, in his evolution process, in his book, had said that human beings had evolved from animals. So the rest of the chapter, which we are going to study here in our textbook, will be based on the evolution theory made by Charles Darwin. And that all the chapters will be based on how humans started to evolve from animals. And that particular animal is an ape. Ape an siya zong lian chi kan tia kha. Darwin na khan Children kan se ti kan ti to khan Charles Darwin na khan midang tam tak te mi chu sang research lo to the findings an lo ne to the paper an lo publish to te sang le ama findings ama research te na sa ta ka pe huwa khan 24th November 1859 na khan le khabu a publish ta a chu on the origin of species ti ni ti chuan hemi a hian Darwin an argue per asoi tum per chu mishing te hi ran atangin kan si chua kani mishing kan precursors kan hul min kha tu te ati anga chu ran andong ni ta ni tu ba chan hi chuan creation theory akha against pak ti na ni creation theory kha I bible la kan mo pathianin adam kha bible ta tang na siamani ti le adam na ru atangin evi asiamani ti hi tu na kan chapter hi chuan akal thak don thomani khami kha da bo ngai ti na ani chu he zir lai bo chuan asikan zir lai bu ania kan rin da ti buai lo se achan chu tu la chun dang ni ang rwal po ngai to na sem thei vek in ni to eng ti zong ma hian zong atangin mi shi kan piang lo gang ti te chu kan ring thiam vek thobanga ama ro chu bible shelo bible believer ni lem lo pathian shelo tu ten mishing chu thla tu nei lovin kan ron om mat thei lo ti atang khan kan thla tu te an chui ve angai lo thei lo wa chumi awang chuan he zir lai hi lo chhuak ani ti kharil ruin shan ve me tur ani. Okay, the first point in our chapter regarding the subject is the story of human evolution, and then part A we have precursors of modern human beings. So Charles Darwin had written in his book that human beings had evolved from animals, and that animal is an ape. Zong lian si kan tia kha. That's why if you look at the your textbook page 10, you will see four figures of a skull, and explanation has been given there. Skull A belongs to an ape. Skull B belongs to a species known as Australopithecus. We will later explain what is the meaning of Australopithecus. And then skull C belongs to a species known as Homo erectus. Homo erectus is known as upright man. And then skull D belongs to a species known as Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens were thinking wise men. We modern human beings are referred to as Homo sapiens because we can think, and then we are wise now. So these four skulls represent the evolution of human beings. Sa pira kan zong lian luru kan huta ti chuan apani na chuan kha evolution process a chuan atira chuan zong an lo di phatta in the beginning they were an ape, and then b a chuan skull b Australopithecus. So they still Australopithecus still retain all the features of an apes, but they are not fully apes. Kasi zong feature na tam zong kani Australopithecus kan tia chuan. This one, if you look at Skull C to Homo erectus, we all know the feature of and the figure of an ape. So Skull C chuan Homo erectus is to erect ngil so inani tani Homo erectus angil. So but Skull C china hi chuan evolution process a khan human being a kha a patangin Australopithecus atangin Homo erectus a backbone te lo ngil to ni chumi process a chu next kan sei chho tu ra hi ni ta ni chuan skull sia phe hi chuan Homo sapiens a erect satliam nei po ni to lova thinking of an ape zong khwa zong ril ru kan tia kha figure 4 a hi chuan anei to lova tu na modern human beings ke mani anga khwa mai to na mang thei to tin fing to hei hi kamamo ani hemi hi chatiang tan cho kamamo ani ti na chang an sha to na khania chu evolution kan ti lai a begin regarding the skull the brain development kan se kha ani ta ni ti chwa ka chha thadon lova apoi mo lai te hi ka sei do na ti chwa he ta hianim if you look at the second paragraph, I'm not going to go into detail, and I'm not going to read out the chapters because we do not have that much time. So what you have to remember is that you have to go through all the points and read the chapter thoroughly before you answer the questions and try to understand the meaning. Uh, in the second paragraph, you will see the examples given regarding how long a million year is. Okay, so I'm not going to read that out. And then the first point you will have to uh, keep in mind is in the third paragraph, hominids, hominoids, and hominids. In the page 10, second paragraph, from the second half, you will find that uh, primates. You will find a word primates. Primates were a category of mammals, and they emerged in Asia and Africa. And then among the primates, there emerged a subgroup called hominoids. You will underline those portions. From primates, there emerged hominoids. Hominoids include apes, and much later, about 5.6 million years ago, we find the evidence of the first hominids. Primates to mammals category mi anita. Tichuan primates atang khan hominoids hi anon evolve ta ni anon piang chhuak le ta ni subgroup. Primate subgroup to hominoids kan ti hinita. Hominoids hi chu apes zong lian kan ti kha an ni ta fe kan ni hominoids a hian. Tichuan 5.6 million lian anu fe a hominids kan ti mishing ang feature kan ti hi aron piang chhuak le chau ti na ni. Tu bang chuan primates ti te hominids kan ti kha in lo chin chiang. Ti chuan in the third paragraph here you underline the whole paragraph because you are going to get a question later on, a comparison between hominoids and hominids. Okay, this is the explanation for a comparison for hominoids and hominids. Hominids have evolved from hominoids. From primates, there were subgroup called hominoids. Okay, and then from hominoids evolved hominids, and they share certain common features, but there are major differences as well. Hominoids to primate subgroup anita. Tichuan hominoids to apes an lanita ni zong feature zong akhan la neita. Tichuan anu fea hominoids atangin hominids aron evolve le ta ni. Tichuan hominoids le hominids khan common feature kil engemo an pian phung le ni dan in an na engemo sat an nei ma se a in an lo na chu atam zo major differences ati kha they even though they have certain common features certain le major sia chu kan shat ka ringa ti chuan they have certain common features but the differences is big major alian anin an lo na khalian chu ba chuan hominoids le hominids chu anin ang lo ti na ni hominoids chuan they still retain all the features of an apes but hominids had retain human features uh, okay hominoids have smaller brains here we are going to see the differences the major differences between hominoids and hominids hominoids have smaller brains than hominids hominoids are quadrupeds. Quadrupeds. I hope you all know what is meant by quadrupeds. Quadrupeds kan ti chu kud ke pali nei pali akal ke angka anita ni. It's one hominoids are quadrupeds walking on all fours, walking